I feel like I'm on a trend with this whole dating thing, but I guess, damn, at 31, check out this 31. I'm loving 31. 31's been great so far, by the way. But I guess that's just been a common theme weighing on my spirit, if you will. So anyway, I was having a moment last night and I decided to journal. Now, I was contemplating on past relationships that weren't really relationships, right? So, this is what I wrote. Let's see. This is just an excerpt, mind you. You don't need to know everything. But did we go wrong or not work because I ran from that challenge, or were we just not compatible? How long do you stick around before you can finally say, this doesn't work, we're not a good match? Is being comfortable with who I am and self-love a mask or a shield? Am I so caught up in I and me that it's blocking a we? Do I use my self-confidence as a crutch instead of a guide? Is it keeping me propped up in place, out of harm's way, or leading me into and through this new era of adulthood? So, I think the gist of it was the idea of being comfortable in who you are and loving yourself may sometimes be a, what's the word I'm looking for? It just ran straight through my mind. A defense mechanism. Self-love is important. Self-confidence is important. I feel like I have a very healthy sense of self-confidence, and I love myself. I'm very proud of the woman that I've grown into and developed into. However, sometimes I kind of feel like I use my ability to accept myself as a tool to kind of wall myself off, if you will. I am very good at walking away. My walk away game is strong. So when I get to a point where I feel like, okay, well, this doesn't exactly fit my mold of who I think I am, I'll distance myself from the situation. If I don't feel like someone fits my picture, if you will, I don't try to change the person. I don't really try to have too many discussions on what I do and I don't like, because I kind of feel like maybe I'm expecting that other person to have their shit together, at least to the degree that I have my shit together, so that we can honestly approach something with our true selves, so that if who I am doesn't feel, if to me, who I am doesn't line up with who you're presenting yourself to be, that should be a fair gauge as to us not working. Makes sense so far, right? But I had one guy tell me, give me space to make mistakes. I guess his point was, I may know you as a friend, or I may know you on this tier, but if we're gonna try to get to this tier, you gotta give me, this leverage in between, right? Makes sense. Mind blown. I thought that was a great observation. And in my mind, I gave that opportunity, but needless to say, I didn't feel like he actually tried to step up to that. And to me, that just said that who he was as a person just wasn't a good fit for who I was as a person. Didn't make either one of us a bad person, but I just felt like we weren't a good match. But that was like from a weekend of us talking. It was I think we started to try to take partnering seriously for maybe 2 weeks. And so you have your little conversations, you talk on the phone, you FaceTime or whatever, and then you try to spend some time together, and to me, I feel like if it's just not if it's feeling like I would be forcing something, to me, it's just not going to work. But what made me question the whole thing last night was, how long do you give that to actually fairly unfold? Is a weekend long enough? Is 2 weeks long enough? Do you give somebody that chance to learn who you are and what their expectations mean to you? Or do you kind of just meet everybody at surface level? I am okay with who I am. I enjoy who I am, and I have no desire to change to meet someone else where they are. Not to say that I'm better than anyone, not to say that someone isn't good enough for me, but I just truly believe that someone could be a good person but not a good match for you. So, nutshell, because I'm trying to keep these short, I feel like I'm having an aha moment, or like a mini epiphany, because I've gotten to the stage in life where I'm very comfortable with who I am. I love myself very much, and I think that I am bombdiggy.com, right? However, I don't want my appreciation for myself to get in the way of appreciating someone else. I fully understand and am committed to partnering with someone who's a good match for me. However, I'm a little lost in the sauce when it comes to a fair time frame to test that out. So, what are your thoughts? How long do you give someone to kind of see whether or not they're a good match for you? Do you put a time frame on it? I feel like I've also gotten good at trusting my instincts. I feel like once it starts to feel like it's not working, then it's not working. However, I don't know if it's my instincts telling me that it's not working, or maybe they're saying try something different. You get what I'm saying? I don't know if I've found all the pieces to the puzzle. So I found the pieces that comprise who I am, right? And I'm filling in the gaps as I go. But I don't know if I'm putting all the pieces the right way to go into every spot. Sometimes you have pieces, but you have to wait until other pieces fall into line before you can connect the other pieces that you have. You following me here? Yeah? Great. So that whole puzzle of a relationship, I guess, it's kind of like, how do you know that the piece goes where it's supposed to go? This is why dating is confusing, because you're taking two fallible human beings and trying to essentially not merge them into one, but merge them into one. What do you think? Let me know. Thank you for watching so far. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and hopefully we'll be back for the next one.